the back motion.
Ready when you are.
All right. Well, it's nice to be 1-0. Really pleased with our veteran leadership. It's different. It's really different. Big Ten play. It's got a different attitude in the locker room. It's got a different attitude in practice. It's got a different intensity. I thought our veterans, Kobe, DeMonte, Trent, Jake, I thought those guys were incredible this week in practice, leading into this and identifying what the right intensity level is and what this is about in Big Ten play. Now we got 19 more of them, but I will start tonight with Coleman Hawkins. When I envision Coleman, tonight's kind of it. I think he's an elite defender. He took on the challenge of one of the best players in this league and a guy who has really given us problems in the past, and Ron Harper Jr. Made it for a very, very difficult night for him. And then I thought that set the tone. I thought our other guys flew around. We competed. We didn't give them anything easy outside of a couple of transition baskets, and then we gave them 2 threes off offensive rebounds, which we can't do. But Omar Payne, I was extremely pleased with his minutes tonight. A guy that didn't score a basket, but had 7 rebounds and impacted the game in a lot of ways with his shot blocking, with his rebounding, been really challenging Omar to do those things. And tonight was a night that he stepped up to that challenge, and against the team that we knew plays extremely hard and can really get after you on the glass in their own right.
Can you pitch up to start?
Brett, I know you said Coleman can be an elite defender. It seems like he challenged him in some games where he might not be very good on that end. So what's that process been like between you two of getting him to buy into that role?
You ever seen 2 Rams? That's what it's felt like, to be very honest with you at times. I love Coleman, and I think he got off to a really good start. But I do think there was some humbling and some understanding, and now he's been so good in practice. I mean, just so good. His focus has been really good. He's been really conscientious on the offensive end as well. But no one believes in Coleman more than I do, and no one. And I mean, his ability to be an elite 2-way player is there, and his focus, and it's staying down and not relaxing. And that comes with maturity and experience, and he's growing.
Coleman mentioned that kind of treated tonight as an opportunity to make a statement, perhaps. What do you think this team has decided about what they can do with seems like a maybe the most complete game?
Well, we're getting better. I mean, there's no doubt we're getting better, and we're slowly identifying roles and what those are looking like. We're moving the ball much better on the 19 assists and turnovers on the offensive side. We have an idea where we're going with the ball, and yet defensively, one of the things I was really upset with in the Notre Dame game is I felt like that should have been a 25-point game, and we had it to 16. And we had some leads earlier in the year in games, and we just didn't step on people. And that starts at the defensive end. And so we've talked about that, and I think that's maybe the statement those guys were talking about. We're trying to have that killer instinct and not have it be because we make threes, we make shots. Make it because we're stopping people, and we're doing that.
Coach, Coleman talked about how you're pretty good at kind of pushing buttons and challenging them and doing different things. How much did you do that the past week and trying to get him to defend Ron Harper Jr., a guy that you said has hurt you guys in the past?
Well, I told him that Ron Harper goes to bed every night and envisions Coleman Hawkins in a pink tutu. And I mean that, I said that, because last year he had his way with it. He just literally, it was easy, just had him on skates. He just put him in and he ran whatever he wanted. He went to their place, he had 28 or 30, whatever it was, and he had no chance. And so, I pushed his button with a pink tutu. I couldn't find one XXX, I was gonna show up in it one day, but
I think looks like they shot, they got a few three-pointers, but 14 and 51 was at 27% on twos. You mentioned how good Coleman was on hopper. What else did you guys do to limit their effectiveness from two-pointers?
well, we kept him out of the paint with post-ups. I think that's one of the things that they've had a tremendous amount of success with in their games, is being able to post Jalen Jones, being able to post McConnell, being able to get guys that maybe have a matchup because of size, and be very effective there. I thought we did a really good job of taking some of that away. Kofi was a big part of that defensively with his presence and clogging the paint. And again, a team that hasn't shot the ball extremely well from three. We wasn't at the top of our list. Now that'll all change when we get Gio back. But again, I thought we did a good job of keeping them out of those post-ups and out of the paint, and then not giving them second chance points for the most part.
Which we heard about Alfonso Plummer and his shooting and his three-point shooting, but perhaps the most impressive thing about him has been not just as a shooter, but his floor game. He's really put the ball on the floor, gets the rim, finish. Is that a little bit of a surprise to you from when you recruited him back in the spring?
Yeah. He was a point guard at one point in his career. Everybody's kind of falls into that cliche that, well, you're small, so you got to play point. And so he has that. And again, it's kind of the weighing the scales. You want the ball in his hand all the time, or you want him coming off screens, which he's elite at. So he's grown with that. You saw us tonight run a couple actions actually with him on the ball. He's very good at getting downhill. We do a drill every day where we have our bigs and have all our guys jump straight up in the air and not foul. And Plummer goes at him and finishes at a really alarmingly high rate. And so we're really comfortable with him around the rim. He gets the ball off. And but yeah, to answer your question, I think that's something we got to experiment a little more.
I know you talked a lot about turning the page from what was last year, but the guys kind of talked about wanting to maybe issue a reminder of this is who we are. Has that been a topic that you brought up, or is that something that kind of comes to on their own? Is there anything there?
No, I think it's them. I think it's more them. I'm trying to really dial in on this team and not get so wrapped up in, last year, even though they know, we had a couple slip ups last year, we felt like, and they're conscientious of that. They know we haven't won in Iowa City. They're conscientious of that. They, that's the first thing DeMonte and Trent talked about after the game. We haven't won that. But it's every season's got its own identity, but if those guys talk about it and share that with the new guys, I'm cool with that.
That was probably the most we've seen Kofi pass out of the post in a single game, kicking it back out. Obviously, that was part of the game plan. How big of a step is that for him to add that, and what's it do for your offense?
Yeah, it's so unbelievable maturity. That's one of the things that happens when you're a junior. You just grow into the understanding of the game. The game slows down, and he is literally giddy about passing the ball out of there, and seeing guys make baskets. He was killing Jake. At the end when they threw it back and forth, and Jake missed one. And he's talking about when he threw my assist. And that's the fun stuff that comes from passing. And if you want to go do that with Kofi, okay. He's proven now that, and I think the one thing we feel comfortable about is we got some really, really good shooters, and we're going to take our opportunities from them.
How much more tonight did you have in the hockey assist? The pass back out led to multiple passes, falling like that.
So we have a saying 0.5. we want the ball to be in your hand in 25 seconds. We don't want it to stick. And we practice that a lot. And it's on the board before every game. And that means you have to see the play before it actually happens. So it doesn't, if it's the pass to Kobe, if it's the next open guy. That's when basketball gets really good and really fun. And our guys are starting to buy into that and that unselfishness and not care who scores it. But it's all for the good of Illinois basketball.
Trent didn't score in the first half, but I think he had like 3 straight assists to Jake. What does his off-ball work just mean to the team? And when he's not scoring, what does that give you guys?
Yeah, if you ever asked me to put a importance or a Trent Frazier, whether he makes baskets or not, I don't care. And Trent's hardly practicing. He's very, very limited in practice. So Trent hasn't been in the gym getting shots. And I told him I told him at time, I said, just fall through. You kind of get a little jerky, just fall through, they'll go in. But here's a guy fighting through some shoulders, some knee. He moved better, I thought, today than I've seen him. And all he does is figure out a way to guard the other guy's best player and help us win, whether it's passing. I mean, he was coaching the timeouts at the end of the game. He was coaching them. We don't need layups. We don't need this. We need time. We're just literally coaching them. And to me, that's music to my ears.
Coach, I thought Jake Davison had a really good start to the first half. Can you talk about that importance and how he got you guys out to the hot start?
Yeah, it's back-to-back games. Jake's just been he's an elite shooter. An elite shooter. He's got a super quick release. He's a great connector in our offense. And again, he just gives you an opportunity. He gives you a burst coming off the bench. We know what we're getting now. We're starting to find those roles. And Jake's been instrumental in that. And I think Luke is stepping into some of those things as well. So I'm starting to feel really comfortable with where those guys are at.
Could you talk a little bit more about the kind of blue collar gritty stuff that you saw? Like you mentioned, no more pain coming off the bench, Coleman's defense. Are you there yet as far as the toughness and the grit that you want to see?
No, I saw a couple guys get inside and rebound, and there was some crackdowns, but we're making progress. And I'll be very honest, Doug. I mean, are we ever going to be tough enough? Not in my world, but we're getting there. We've got to find the gritty plays. We've got to find the. I was really proud that it was a no-call. Kobe tried to take another charge and stood in there. And those are the little things that impact winning at a really high level. And we're getting there. We're starting to understand.
We know you don't read our stuff or follow social media, but if you were to find out that a hashtag I support Bello had universally taken over Illini social media, how would that make you feel?
Yeah, it's what the best fan base in the country should be. Just a young guy that's going through some things, and that's pretty cool, man. That's what this thing is about. They're not pros, they're collegiate student athletes, and know that people care about you, not for the player, not for just because you win a basketball game, but because you're a human being and you're part of us and you're part of our family. That's pretty cool, man. I like that.
It sounded as if maybe you would put the Ron Harper bottom in Coleman's ear before maybe you started scouting, particularly for this game. Do you remember when you first kind of challenged him with that particular matchup?
The day after last game of, I really don't know. He's a really good player. I think he's one of the hard guards in our league. And again, I think those are the things that I envision with Coleman, is being able to challenge guys at that position. And I don't care if they're 6'8" and lanky or 6'6" and 240 like he is. He's smart, he's IQ, he's length, he's got all the tools to be a leader. And I was happy to see that.
You've got, I mean, how healthy are you? You've got RJ with the ankle, you've got guys coming off the flu. How healthy are you not? Some of these guys, had been playing more minutes, 23 minutes tonight. What's your status?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was the first day we've seen Hutch in 5 days. RJ's still got a little gimp in his, a little swelling in his ankle. He's got through it on the court, but we're not, I don't know, 75, 80%. DeMonte's still, you can't take DeMonte off the court. DeMonte will not come off the court. And he will not miss practice, and he has not felt good. But he's still not good either. I mean, he's getting closer.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you.
Next media updates.
We know what time?